There are 26 new player cards in this Mythos pack. Like the Dunwich Legacy box, each class received 2 new cards, except the Survivors, which received 3. There were also 2 new neutral cards. Every player card comes with 2 copies, so you won't need to buy more than 1 Mythos pack per player. There are no new skill cards in this set, and each class has 1 new asset and 1 new event. The extra Survivor card is an event. Hooray for Wendy! And both the neutral cards are assets. Each class has 1 experienced and 1 0 level card. Continuing the Dunwich tradition, both neutral cards are level 0, but the extra Survivor card is experience. If you break things down by cost, this is more expensive than the last release. We have no 0 cost cards and 1 5 cost card. In fact, this is almost the reverse of the Dunwich box, as the Guardians of the Seekers have moved from the cheapest to the most expensive. And likewise with the Mystics, who get the most bang per buck here. Icon-wise, there are 2 cards with 0 icons, 7 with 1 icon, and 4 with a pair of icons. With 3 distinct cards, the Survivors get the most icons, and they're the only class to get a wild icon this time. Is this going to be a pattern? In terms of skills, there are 5 willpower icons, 3 agility and 3 intellect, and only 2 combat, both of which are on the same card. And it's a Survivor card! What's the world coming to? There is only 1 fast card in this set, and it looks like the Survivors are getting all the love. There are 3 cards with a free trigger action, and that's almost as good. An adaptable is so quick that it starts in play. 50% of the Mystic cards are spells, and those Mystics are knocking it out of the park, as Song of the Dead not only has the most uses of a spell, it's the first player card to go up to 5 fixed uses. And they also have the first victory point on a player card. Another first is the arrival of dual use cards, both in terms of assets and events. There are 3 new item cards, and you can bring them all back with scavenging. Only 1 of these is a weapon, and it goes to the Survivors. There is a single ally, and the 5 cost, 1 pip Brother Xavier is not only built like a brick privy, but he's a powerful avenging punch when defeated. There are 3 new healing cards. Emergency Aid is the first healing we've seen on an event card. Every other player card that heals has been an asset, or in the case of Fearless, a skill. Also note that this is the only way you can heal an ally. As clarified in the 1.0 FAQ, healing only affects an investigator unless the card specifically mentions otherwise, and this is the first one ever to do so. The 2 neutral cards don't so much heal as convert 1 token type into the other. Looking at slots, we are really low impact. Nothing in the accessory slot, and as usual, nothing for the body slot. Rules-wise, Miskatonic Museum is a very friendly set, with none of the headache-inducing cards like Teamwork and Double or Nothing that we saw in the last release. But there are a couple of cards that we definitely want to look at. At first glance, the 2 neutral cards, Smoking Pipe and Painkillers, effectively allow you to rebalance the damage and horror your investigator has taken by swapping one for the other. This is great if you have an investigator with imbalanced stat, or if your scenario is dealing out a particular type. But if you look closely at the wording, it says, take 1 damage or take 1 horror. Because you are taking damage or horror, which isn't direct, you can place this on an asset card. Like Teamwork, Flair allows you to get funky with other players' cards, so make sure that you return them after the game. It says, search the top 9 cards of any investigator's deck for an ally asset and put it into play under your control. The first awesome part about this is it lets you bypass the cost. So all those expensive allies like Leo DeLuca and Brother Xavier won't cost more than the 2 resources it takes to play Flair. Secondly, it allows you to use out-of-class cards. So anyone can have Beat Cops, Aquina, Cat Burglar, Hired Muscle, and the Incredible Regenerating Man. But don't forget, there cannot be more than 1 copy of each unique card in play at any time. You can even use Flair to pull story asset allies, such as Lita Chandler, assuming there was one in your box. The only restriction is on signature cards, so you can't grab a Duke or a Baron Samedi. The first part of the Dunwich Legacy brought us the game design masterstroke that was Strange Solution. Now we have Adaptable. In most games, cards have to be in play to affect the game. Adaptable goes 1 step further. You don't have to be playing the game for this card to take effect. In fact, it only takes effect between games. The very idea that you can finish a game, put all the cards away and go to bed, and your cards are potentially doing things while you sleep, really creeps us out. It's very Lovecraftian, but humour aside, the ability of Adaptable becomes available as soon as you purchase the card. If you are between games and this is in your deck, you get to swap out up to 2 level 0 cards for alternative 0 level cards. Remember that this would usually cost you 1 XP to do so under the normal campaign rules.